All right, so I haven't actually let the glue in my block dry, but I think we're good enough. The pantyhose, as you stretch it over the block here, will hold itself in place, but I'm gonna go ahead and start painting the glue on. Again, never painted glue. I would highly recommend you use a brush that you do not like, okay? And so I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue on like that, and then I'm going to just go ahead and paint it with a brush, paintbrush, so that it'll all go through. Notice that it soaks right through the pantyhose. And I'm assuming that's going to end up sticking to the wood, okay? I'm gonna repeat this on the other side. Now the directions I read said you don't need to use a whole lot of glue. You just need to basically make a sealing or a sealant over it. And then my plan is to paint this completely white with just some gesso, or I suppose you could use just regular white paint also. Oops. All right. Get this side. So I don't feel I'm using a lot. It feels like I'm just using enough to coat this. We'll see how that goes. And it's really difficult to see in the camera, I imagine, because I can barely see it as I'm doing it. Now I've got a cup of water here, so as soon as I get done painting this bottom part with the glue, if I'm going to save that brush, I'm going to go ahead and rinse that really quick. And this is an old brush that I had laying around that I really don't have that much attachment to, so it's not that big a deal, but just in case, you know. All right, so I got the base done. Now the part that I'm really kind of interested to see how this works is painting the actual surface of the pantyhose itself. And I don't know if I need to just kind of put it on there and then spread it, or I'm just going to kind of go for it. We shall see. It seems to be going on. I don't know if you guys can see that. I have to get my other bottle of glue here that has a little bit more in it. But I'm trying not to use too much, but I don't know what too much or too little is, so. Again, I think I'm just trying to seal things versus actually trying to paint it. Now that's an interesting thing that just happened, is where I'm painting it here, it was stretched out before, but now it's actually sticking. So I don't know if that'll stick. Probably will. Now I gotta keep reminding myself that I am gonna be painting the whole thing white before I start putting any kind of color on. So it's a little bit awkward to paint the glue on just because the pantyhose stretches. So just kind of keep that in mind as you guys are working with this. And my thought is I'm going to try painting part of it here with the glue, and then I'm going to flip over and do the back side of it, this side of it, with just regular paint and see which one works best. That way you guys can have a little bit of an idea of how that works before you start, and that way if it doesn't work out for me, you'll know better. So in some areas where it's really thin and almost touching, I think it is actually going to glue itself to itself. So we will see what happens here.